Alright, so in the last video we went ahead and we added our scripts, and we also created the front end content right here at the bottom. So what we need to do now is create a settings page so that we can actually set the link to a specific Facebook page without having to actually go and hard code it. Alright, because that's pretty useless. So to do that, we're going to create another file. We're going to go into the includes folder, and we're going to save this as Facebook footer link settings.php. Alright, and we're going to have to require that, so let's go to our main plugin file, and let's just copy this. Oops. Alright, so we'll paste that in, and we're going to change this to settings. Alright, and then let's change this. Load settings. Now this this file, we only want to include this if we're on the admin side. We don't want to include it in the front end. So to do that, what we can do is we can do a conditional, and we can we can say if is admin. Okay, so that's a special WordPress function that will just check to see if we're on the admin side. Alright, so put that in there like that and save it. And then just to test things out, let's go ahead here and we'll just issue a die function. And we'll save that. Okay, if we go to our back end, we get settings page, the script stops, front end, we reload, and it's still there. Alright, so that's perfect. So what we want to do here is first create a function, and in that function we're going to use the add options page method. Alright, so let's put a comment here, and we're going to create the menu link. Alright, because we need a way to access the page. Alright, so we're going to say function FFL underscore, we'll say options options menu link. Alright, and then in here we're going to call add options page. Okay, now this is going to take a few parameters, so let's actually check this out. Actually, no, we don't need to do that. The first one is going to be the title, so we'll say Facebook, and this is the title of the section. So Facebook footer link options. Alright, next one is going to be the title of the menu link. Alright, so we'll just call that Facebook footer link. Alright, now the next one is going to be the compatibility, which means who do we want this to work for, so they have to at least be able to manage options. Alright, so I'm going to say manage options. Alright, so the next one is going to be the menu slug. So what do we want the URL to display? We're going to say FFL-options. Alright, and then the last one is going to be the function that we want to use to just actually display the content. So we're going to call that FFL options underscore content. Alright, so now what we need to do is create this function right here. So we'll go right under this one, and we'll say create options page content. Okay, we'll say function, paste that in. For now, we're just going to, let's just echo out test. Alright, before we can actually use this, we need to add our action. Alright, so we're going to say add action. And this is going to be the admin menu action. All right, and then we want to run this right here, this function. All right, so we'll put that in here. Okay, and then the next thing we have to do is we need to register the settings. All right, so let's say register settings, and we're going to call function ffl underscore settings underscore, actually I'm sorry, we're going to say ffl register settings. All right, and then in there we're going to say register underscore setting, and then in there we'll say ffl underscore settings group, and then ffl settings. All right, and then we need another action for this. Alright, so we're going to use admin init here, and then we want to run this function. Alright, so that'll register it for us. Let's go ahead and save this. Alright, so if we go down to settings, now you can see we have this Facebook footer link. Okay, if we click that, and we're going to get test. Alright, so that's perfect. Now, remember before how in the front end we just built up a variable and then we output it, okay, just like what we did here. Well, in this case, we're going to have a lot more content than this, so the better way to do this would be to use an output buffer. Alright, so what we can do here is we can call ob underscore start. Alright, and then we're going to exit out of the PHP, and then down here we'll go back into it. Alright, and down here what we want to do is say echo ob underscore get clean. Alright, just like that. And then anything we put in here should be output in the front end. So just to test this out, let's just say this is a test. Alright, so we get this as a test. And we can just do regular HTML in here. Now what we're going to do is let's create a div, and we're going to give this div a class of wrap. Alright, and that's what you want to use in the back end. That's the class that the admin interface uses to format what you're doing, what you're outputting. Alright, and then let's put an H2 and we'll say Facebook footer link settings. Now, when we're outputting a string like this, we want to localize it, alright, because if the users are gonna have a different language set up, then we want to be able to translate it. So in order to do that, we're just gonna say PHP echo, and actually I don't think we even need echo. We can just say it's gonna be underscore E, and then we're gonna wrap whatever the text is. Alright, and then it's going to have another parameter which is going to be the text domain. Alright, so we'll just say ffl underscore domain. Alright, and let's wrap that up and put our ending PHP tag. Alright, so we'll save that, and now we have that. Okay, so since we use the wrap class, we have the padding here so that it looks a little better. Alright, and like I said, when you want to output just straight text, it's good to use something like this. So underneath that, let's put in a paragraph. Alright, and I'm just going to copy this. Alright, and then we're just going to change the text here. We'll say settings for the Facebook footer link plugin. All right, and it's going to have the same text domain. All right, so that should now show up. All right, so now what we need to do is create our form. Okay, so the next line we're going to say form, and we're going to set the method is going to be post, and then we want to set the action. We're going to set that to options.php. All right. All right, so no matter what, even if we were using a different plugin, if we build another plugin, we're going to still use the same action. And then right after that, we need to include PHP and then the settings field function. So we're going to say settings field, and then we want to pass into, settings fields, and then we're going to pass into that whatever we put, where is it? Right here, FFL settings group. All right, so we'll just put that right in there. Okay, and now we can proceed with the form. Now, in order for it to look like, let's just click on general settings. I want it to have the same type of look and format that this has. All right, so it's using a table. So we're going to go and add our table. Okay, and it's going to have a class of form table. Okay, I'm just using standard WordPress classes, CSS. All right, then we're going to have a tBody. Okay, and then we're going to have table row. And then we want a table heading. And we're going to add a scope attribute, and we're going to set this to row.